Fire Force, a series where people burst into flames and explode. Sounds like a pretty normal day in my kitchen, but here, it's a full-blown apocalyptic nightmare. Spontaneous human combustion is wiping out people left and right, and the only ones who can stop the chaos are the Fire Force, elite firefighters with the ability to control flames. So, naturally, our main guy, Shinra Kusakabe, joins their ranks with one goal in mind, to be a hero. But, of course, things aren't that simple. Episode 1, Enter Devil's Footprints. Boom! Right off the bat, someone just randomly bursts into flames in the middle of a train station. Talk about bad timing. The Special Fire Force Company 8 rolls up to the scene, and we get our first glimpse of what these guys do for a living. Send people off in a blaze of glory. And when I say send off, I mean straight up obliteration. No mercy, no hesitation, but don't worry, they say a nice little prayer before turning these infernals to ash. You know, cause that totally makes it better. Enter Shinra Kusakabe, our protagonist, who arrives at the scene, saves a nun from falling debris like a true hero, and casually introduces himself as the new recruit for Company 8.
本日から第8特殊消防艦隊に配属されました。第3世代消防官、新羅草壁です。
The guy's got fire blasting out of his feet, a permanent creepy grin, and a whole lot of baggage. Why? Well, because when he was a kid, his house went up in flames. His mom and little brother got roasted, and everyone blamed him. So yeah, he's been labeled a demon for most of his life. Fun times. But Shinra's not here to mope. He's here to kick some infernal butt. And his first mission is taking down a factory owner's wife who turned into an infernal. Sounds simple, right? Well, nope. Because as soon as she steps into battle, all those childhood memories of being blamed for his family's death come rushing back. PTSD says hello, but he pushes through and lands the final blow. He gets his first heartfelt thank you from the grieving husband, and Shinra's feeling pretty good about himself, but this is Fire Force, so that won't last long. Episode 2, The Fire Force's Sad Reality. Company 8 is already throwing Shinra and Arthur Boyle, another fresh recruit, into the upcoming Rookie Fire Soldier Games. Oh yeah, Arthur. This dude thinks he's a literal king. No, really. He walks around like he's ruling a medieval kingdom, sword and all. Naturally, Shinra is not amused.
Shinra, 知り合いなの?
はい、訓練校で一緒で。騎士はヒーローよりしょべえしょべえって言ってたら、途中から騎士に王ってつけ出して。卑怯でしょ。
さあ。
Yeah, so anyways, before they can even prepare, Company 8 gets an emergency call, another infernal sighting. But this one's different. Instead of rampaging and setting everything on fire, this infernal is just sitting there, not moving, not attacking, just waiting. The reason? He's trying to protect his daughter. Damn, that hurt. Captain Obi orders Shinra and Arthur to put away their weapons because the Fire Force aren't just exterminators. They're supposed to be the saviors of souls. After a quiet moment of prayer, Arthur delivers a single, clean strike, ending the infernal suffering. Outside, Obi consoles the man's daughter, while Shinra finally understands what it really means to be in the Fire Force. This job isn't just about fighting fire with fire, it's about carrying the weight of the lives they take. Episode 3, Rookie Fire Soldier Games turned Bloodbath. Okay, enough with the sappy shit. It's time for the Rookie Fire Soldier Games, which are supposed to be a friendly competition between new recruits, and Shinra casually peeking at some badonkadonks. Supposed to be, right? Well, instead, Shinra gets roped into something way darker. Right before the event starts, he recognizes Leonard Burns, the first company captain, as the guy who saved him from his burning house years ago. Naturally, Shinra asks him about the fire, but Burns straight up gaslights him, pretending he doesn't remember. Yeah, sure, buddy. The event itself is simple. Make it through a booby-trapped building and take down a fake infernal. Easy, right? Well, not when a shady dude called Joker crashes the party. Joker's got an offer. He'll tell Shinra the truth about the fire 12 years ago. The catch? Shinra's gotta join him. Oh, and he also starts throwing exploding ash everywhere. Shinra, still reeling from the "your little brother might still be alive" bombshell, barely makes it out of the encounter. Company 8 is now officially on alert. Something isn't right within the Fire Force, and it's only a matter of time before the truth burns its way to the surface. Episode 4 through 6, Princess Hibana and the Power of Simping. Enter Princess Hibana, the captain of Company 5. She's got two things: a deep hatred for nuns and an army of simps. Also, she wants to experiment on live infernals, which, yeah, is kinda messed up. Company 8 gets into a full-scale brawl with Company 5 after they hold Iris hostage, and Shinra personally takes on Hibana. She tries to flex on him with her heat-stroke-inducing powers, but Shinra, being the absolute madman he is, takes the pain and drops her with a single flaming punch to the head.
ずいぶん協力的ですね。
だって好きになっちゃったんだもん。
This is where things take a turn because instead of staying mad, Hibana just falls for him. Hard. We're talking about full-on "please step on me" Shinra levels of adoration. She switches sides, offers her resources to Company 8, and even fulfills a childhood promise to Iris by making flowers out of fire. What a roller coaster. Episodes 7 through 14. Corruption, conspiracies, and cults. Alright, so Company 8 has a new ally, Hibana. But instead of throwing a welcome party, they immediately jump into some hardcore investigating because, surprise, surprise, the Fire Force is hiding skeletons in its burning closet. Turns out, Company 1 has been running some shady experiments, turning innocent people into infernals using creepy little firebugs. And the big boss behind it all? A cult leader known as the Evangelist. Fantastic. Since kicking down the front door and yelling, "Tell us your secrets," isn't exactly an option, Obi sends Shinra and Arthur undercover to train with Company 1. From the start, something feels off. The higher-ups are acting weird, and there are rumors swirling about strange experiments that are happening behind closed doors. Tamaki, who's part of Company 1, is just trying to do her job when she stumbles into the worst possible thing, Lieutenant Rekka. One of the supposedly good guys is straight up setting people on fire to find someone who's compatible with the Evangelist's grand plan. Because nothing says "I'm totally sane" like torching civilians in the name of prophecy. Just as Rekka is about to roast Tamaki, Shinra bursts onto the scene like a fire-powered wrecking ball. Cue an intense high-speed brawl, where Rekka fights like a madman, and Shinra has to go full hero mode to put him down. Classic save. Thank God, am I right? And just when it looks like Company 8 might finally get some answers, boom! Masked assassins from the Evangelist's cult crash the party, erase Rekka from existence with a single shot, and peace out before anyone can even react. So much for an interrogation. With their only lead now turned to ash, Company 8 pivots to their next move. But first, they need some answers. They go and visit Holy Soul Temple to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Benimaru and Konro attend a captain's meeting in Central Tokyo, where Benimaru, in peak "I do what I want" fashion, kicks back with his feet up while everyone else prays. When the Emperor calls for unity against the Evangelist, Benimaru basically goes, "Nah, I'm good," and walks out. Back in Asakusa, Company 8 asks him for help. He declines, but before he can slam the door in their faces, an infernal attack breaks out. Benimaru purifies it in his usual style by obliterating half the district. Yeah, I would say that was efficient. But then things get weird. Some people are seeing double. Fights break out everywhere. Someone's stirring chaos, and Benimaru assumes it's Obi and Hinawa. He overhears fake versions of them talking about creating more infernals, so naturally he goes full rage mode and attacks. It's a brutal beatdown, with Benimaru single-handedly wrecking everyone in Company 8. Just when he's about to finish the job, Konro steps in, using what little strength he has left to stop Benimaru's attack. That's enough to snap Benimaru out of it, and he realizes the real enemy is still out there. He climbs onto a building, shouts at the citizens to fight anyone acting sketchy, and just like that, the problem is solved. Or is it? Chaos erupts in Asakusa. Mistaken identities and sudden infernal attacks throw the town into disarray. Turns out, Yona, a knight of the Ashen Flame, is using his creepy face-morphing abilities to pit people against each other, while the White Hoods unleash infernals. While Benimaru and Konro argue over over who should take charge, Shinra and Arthur struggle to cooperate against the White Hoods. Just as they start gaining the upper hand, Haran swallows an infernal bug, turning into a demon-level threat. Benimaru finally steps in, launching Haran into the sky to avoid more destruction, but Arrow fires a flaming projectile straight at them. Shinra, using every ounce of speed he has, intercepts the attack just in time, allowing Benimaru to unleash his devastating Crimson Moon attack, obliterating Haran in an explosive finale. With the battle over, Benimaru and Obi share a drink, solidifying the alliance between Company 7 and 8. Episodes 15 through 24. Shinra vs. Shell. Family drama, but make it explosive. Company 8 pivots to their next move, recruiting Vulcan, an eccentric genius engineer who absolutely despises the Fire Force. His family once worked on the Empire's power systems, but after being strong-armed out of the industry, he's got nothing but contempt for the system. Obi sees him as a key player in their battle against the Evangelist, but convincing him to join, not so easy. Enter Captain Giovanni of Company 3, a man whose entire personality screams, "I'm secretly evil." Giovanni shows up at Vulcan's workshop, demands he hand over his research and join his squad. When Vulcan refuses, Giovanni decides, screw negotiations, time for violence, and attacks. Luckily, Shinra and Arthur are there to help, and after some intense fighting, Giovanni is forced to get more help, but not before revealing that Vulcan's assistant Lisa has been a spy for the Evangelists the whole time. Talk about betrayal. As the fight continues, Arthur holds up his front, and Hibana joined the fight, and suddenly Sho turned up. Yep, Shinra's little brother Sho.
お前ショウだろ。ショウ、お前俺の弟だよな。キコと俺が兄弟。
Shinra recognizes him right away, but Sho doesn't seem to know him. Shinra tries to talk to him, but Sho is a little evangelist who is brainwashed and doesn't care. He picks up Giovanni and bolts, and thus ends their first encounter. Now left with no other option, Vulcan officially joins Company 8, bringing his tech genius and personal vendetta against Giovanni and the Evangelist's forces. And just like that, Company 8 isn't just investigating anymore, they're preparing for an all-out war. Shinra refuses to back down, even after getting his skull used as a punching bag by Shell. His little brother's got the ultimate cheat code. He can literally stop time. And since Shinra's whole fighting style revolves around moving fast, this is kind of a problem. Every time Shinra moves in for an attack, Sho just flicks him away like an annoying fly. It's frustrating. It's painful. But does Shinra care? Nope. He's gonna keep on swinging until he either wins or turns into a pile of charcoal. And while everyone is fighting everyone, then comes the game changer, the Adola Link. Turns out Shinra has a secret weapon. His insane speed is actually tearing his body apart and rebuilding it at a molecular level. Totally normal. By pushing himself to his absolute limit, he breaks into Sho's stopped time dimension, and suddenly, little bro isn't untouchable no more. But this fight isn't just fists and flames. As the battle rages on, the real war is happening inside Sho's head. Through the Adola Link, Shinra forces his memories into Sho's mind, images of their mother, their childhood, and all the love that Sho's been brainwashed to forget. It hits like an emotional sledgehammer, and for the first time, Sho hesitates. His perfect, icy composure cracks. And just as it looks like we might be heading for a tearful reunion, the Evangelist's forces crash the party. They yank Sho away, leaving Shinra battered, broken, and barely breathing on the battlefield. He put up one hell of a fight, but in the end, the bad guys still got away with his brother. Shinra wakes up days later, barely alive, only for Captain Burns to drop yet another truth bomb. Their mother didn't die in the fire. She turned into a horned Infernal and was taken away, meaning she might still be out there. And that's where the first season leaves us, on fire, full of questions, and with way too many explosions to count. But one thing is for sure, Shinra isn't stopping until he brings his family back, and if that means burning down every secret in the Fire Force, then so be it. Fire Force Season 2. More fire, more fists, more insanity. Episode 1. Firefighting, but make it extreme. And in comes Season 2. Life at Company 8 seems surprisingly normal, which obviously means that things are about to go off the rails, when a giant fireball-spewing Infernal appears in the city, and Shinra and Arthur jump in to take it down. Teamwork? Sure. Strategy? Arthur gets distracted by his nightly delusions, while Shinra nearly gets barbecued. Classic. The rest of Company 8 joins the fray, discovering the Infernal has multiple cores. Shinra finally lands the finishing blow with his over-the-top rapid man kick. Oh, and let's not forget the real challenge, Company 8 trying to pose for the Fire Force's annual male nude calendar. Their attempt, last place. Again. Episode 2 through 6. Enter the new pillars and the smell of conspiracy. Shinra meets Captain Hague of Company 4, a man who looks like he enjoys pain way too much. Hague, clearly not the most stable person, begs Shinra to burn him. Not weird at all. But before Shinra can process this, he hears a mysterious voice in his head pushing him to unleash his Adola burst. Arthur steps in and duels Shinra to snap him out of it, because of course the solution is more fighting. Meanwhile, a new pillar emerges, Inka, a thrill-seeking delinquent with the ability to sense fires before they happen. Instead of using her powers for good though, she decides that committing crimes is way more fun. As white-clad cultists ascend to kidnap her, Shinra swoops in to save the day. But Inka, being an adrenaline junkie, willingly joins the villains. I don't know about you, but I think she just did it for the plot. Shinra goes toe-to-toe with Charon, a tank of a man who turns every attack back at his opponent. Punch him? He throws that punch right back at you. Harder. Shinra develops a new move, the Corna, sign of the devil, to finally put a dent in Charon, but the dude just shrugs it off. Meanwhile, Maki and Company 8 put on a fireworks show by redirecting flames into a giant vortex to take down a rampaging demon Infernal. Just another day at the office. Episodes 7 through 13. Field trip to the apocalypse. Company 8 heads outside the Tokyo Empire to uncover more about the Great Cataclysm from 250 years ago. What do they find? A wasteland filled with wandering infernals, scorched ruins, and a talking mole named Skop? Yes, a talking mole. If that wasn't weird enough, Skop has a friend, a talking crow named Yatta. Together, they lead Company 8 into an oasis, a lush paradise that shouldn't even exist in the middle of all this destruction. The secret? A second Amaterasu. Except this one isn't draining the life out of people like Tokyo's. Turns out, this tabernacle is powered by a mysterious woman in black who uses her Adola burst to bring life to the barren land. But of course, peace never lasts. A gang of lunatic infernal cultists, led by a deranged demon named Temp, plan to blow up the oasis in the hopes of ascending to heaven, because nothing says holy enlightenment like mass destruction. Shinra, always the go-getter, makes contact with the woman in black through the Adola link. She grants him exactly 1 second of her power because apparently that's all he needs. Shinra moves so fast that he literally bends time, blitzes Temp before he can react, and obliterates him with a single strike. The oasis is saved, and the cultists are toast, and the talking animals are eternally grateful. But the real bombshell comes after the dust settles. The woman in black reveals a horrifying truth. The Amaterasu in Tokyo isn't powered by some miraculous, endless energy source. It's powered by a living human, meaning the Holy Soul Temple and the Evangelists have been keeping some very dark secrets. What was supposed to be a fact-finding mission just turned into uncovering one of the biggest conspiracies in human history. Episodes 14 through 18. Joker goes full Batman, Hajima's mad science, and a creepy Reaper. While Company 8 is dealing with the fallout of their discoveries, Joker and Benimaru decide to break into the Holy Soul Temple and find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Answer: disturbingly deep. Joker, formerly a temple assassin, exposes the temple's secret enforcers, the Holy Soul Shadows. He barely survives a duel using hallucinogenic smoke and his deadly card tricks to escape. But the real jackpot? A notebook belonging to the wife of Raffles I, the supposed founder of the Holy Soul Temple. Inside, she claims that the man who returned from the Great Cataclysm wasn't her husband, suggesting that the Holy Soul Temple was created by something inhuman. Meanwhile, Yona, one of the Evangelist's top lieutenants, casually admits to his fellow Knights of the Ashen Flame that he personally impersonated Raffles I and manipulated history. Just your average world-shattering revelation. Meanwhile, Victor drags Shinra into Hajima Industries, home of all things shady and unethical. There, they meet Nataku, a terrified child who develops pyrokinetic powers after Rekka's bug experiments. Nataku is forced to fight Kurono, a man who enjoys bullying children way too much. Shinra tries to save Nataku, but Hajima's idea of training is basically traumatize the kid until he explodes. The situation spirals into a three-way battle between Hajima, the White Clad, and Company 8. Nataku, now an unstable nuclear bomb, starts firing radiation beams. Charon casually catches one and yeets it into space. Because apparently he can do that, Hajima agrees to cooperate with Company 8 after realizing the Evangelist is bad for business, while Kurono, the human embodiment of workplace harassment, keeps Nataku under his twisted protection. Episode 19 through 24, Into the Nether, a one-way ticket to hell. The final arc takes Company 8 deep into the Nether, aka Tokyo's forbidden underground, to root out the White-Clad's main forces. Maki is forced to leave the Fire Force by her overprotective military father, who insists that she belongs in a safer role in the military. But when the mission spirals into chaos, she makes a triumphant return, proving once and for all that her place is fighting alongside her comrades. Meanwhile, the squad ventures into the Nether, and things immediately go from bad to apocalyptic. Shinra and Arthur are ambushed by Dr. Giovanni, who has finally given up on being human and gone full cockroach nightmare fuel. He's faster, creepier, and disturbingly smug. Meanwhile, Juggernaut, the big softy of the squad, gets caught in a brutal fight against a whip-wielding sadist named Orochi. She absolutely wrecks him, cutting him apart, burning him, and leaving him in a pool of his own blood. But Juggernaut, true to his name, refuses to go down without a fight. He turns his entire body into a living bomb, unleashes one last fiery explosion, and takes Orochi with him in a fiery blaze. Elsewhere, Hinawa takes on a bulletproof enemy who shrugs off every bullet like they're pebbles, forcing him to push his sharpshooting skills to the absolute limit. Tamaki, long reduced to a running gag, finally steps up, proving that she can actually fight when it matters. She holds her own against two powerful White-Clad members, determined to prove that she belongs in Company 8. The White-Clad's true plan? Blowing up the underground and sending the entire Tokyo Empire crashing down. Licht, ever the genius, realizes the only person capable of stopping this disaster is Maki. Despite her brother's protests, she channels every ounce of her strength to redirect the explosion, preventing the catastrophe.
長い時間をかけて地球が炎を冷ましてくれる。
The city is saved, but the battle is far from over. Dr. Giovanni scurries away into the darkness like the roach he is, but the battle is done. The Evangelist's war is now in full motion. As the season comes to a close, Shinra and Arthur undergo hellish training under Benimaru, pushing their limits in preparation for the coming war. Meanwhile, the Evangelist's forces gather, ready for an all-out assault on the Tokyo Empire. The fight for humanity's future is just getting started, and the battlefield is about to be set ablaze. Final thoughts. More fire, more chaos, more insanity. Season 2 takes everything from Season 1 and cranks it up to 11. More secrets, more absurd fights, and even more terrifying villains. The Evangelist isn't just playing around anymore. They are making their move, and Company 8 is running out of time to stop them. With Shinra leveling up, alliances shifting, and an all-out war looming, the stage is set for an explosive showdown. And with Season 3 on the horizon, the stakes are higher than ever. The final battle between the Fire Force and the Evangelist's army is drawing near, and the mysteries surrounding the Great Cataclysm, the Adola Bursts, and the Holy Soul Temple are about to reach their breaking point. With the White-Clad growing stronger and more pillars being drawn into the chaos, Shinra and his allies will have to push themselves beyond their limits. Get ready, because this fire is only getting hotter. And there you go! What are your expectations of Season 3? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you, and until next time.